Have you ever heard of the expression life begins at 40 years old? The phrase life begins at 40 means that when one reaches the age of 40, life becomes better, maybe because one has the skills, experiences, and means necessary for an enjoyable life. In the fighting world, 40 means you should be retired most of the times, unless you are one of the few ones that is still able to compete at a high level. In the older days, guys like Randy Couture, Dan Severn and Mark Coleman started their career around 40 years old, but in this era, most of the fighters start young. Today we will look at modern fighters that were able to compete in the highest level, aka the UFC, after turning 40 years old. Enjoy! Daniel Cormier fought his last 2 fights against Stipe in his 40s. After turning 40, Fabricio Werdum had a 3-2 run in the UFC. Demian Maia has been 3-3 since turning 40 years old. Marion Renault has also been active since turning 40. She has had 7 fights, but she lost her last 5. Antonio Rogerio Nogueira fought 3 times in the UFC since turning 40, he won 1 and lost 2. Dan Henderson has won 7 of his fights after turning 40, he also had a close fight against Michael Bisping for the belt in his last fight. Vitor Belfort has competed twice in the UFC after 40 and is 1-1. Faber won 1 of his last 2 UFC fights also. Lee won 2 of his UFC fights at the age of 40 and lost his last one to Michael Bisping before retiring. Mark Hunt fought most of his UFC fights over 40 also. Arlovski has been very successful since entering the 40 club, he won 5 of his last 8 fights. Anderson Silva has fought 7 times since turning 40, his last win was in UFC 208. Alexei Olenek has been very active since turning 40, he has had 11 fights and won 5 of them. Glover has won 3 fights by stoppage and also became UFC champion since turning 40.